Hey everybody, welcome to Leon's Chainsaw Parts and Repair. We're looking at Christopher's 360, and I'm pissed off that that's here. Let me explain. Christopher bought a new coil and transformer from me, and I'm probably not remembering the email exactly right, because that's just what happens, but I'm pretty sure he said this thing died on him in the middle of a cut, and he's like, I couldn't get it restarted. Well, it appears that this coil that has less than 5 hours on it failed. And that's a real upsetting thing because they aren't cheap. And they're not super easy to find new anymore. So I tried putting a transformer on from a known good transformer just to eliminate possibilities. Which one was which? This is off of one of my 360s, and I keep it around just for these moments. So I put it on here, still nothing. It only leaves the coil. So let's get this thing out of here. And I want to put use the ohm meter and see if we can see any difference between this coil that came in, supposed to be good. You know how that goes. But I want to see if there's any difference in the readings when you use just a standard ohm meter. Because with this style of ignition, there just isn't a good way to test it. Homelite made a tool that looked like a transformer, but it had an LED, a neon light in it. And it would flash. It was clear. So you'd put it on here, and you pull it over, you flash. That means your coil is good. Well, that's neat if you can find one of those tools. I've had one that actually burned up. I mean, it didn't last hardly at all. Found it was new in the box, but it just didn't last. So, anyhow, keep this all separate. That's the new coil. New. So first off, let's see. The coil is going to ground out with the lamination here. So let's see. I'm just on a standard ohm setting here. Let's see what we've got between the kill switch so this looks like that's in the K scale, so 906 ohms of resistance between the kill switch tab and the coil leg. Almost the same on this one. So that doesn't tell you much other than there you go. The only other point of test is the lead. Excuse me, that's not the kill switch lead. That's the lead from the transformer mount. So the transformer mount, transformer lead, whatever you want to call it, to ground. This one was 906. This one's 900. Not enough to make a big damn difference. So let's go between ground and the kill switch. 60.6.7. 58. No big difference there. So now, all that's left is kill switch tab to transformer lead. So 961, 964. So what did that tell us? Nada. There's absolutely zilch in there that is useful. Nothing at all. Except I know this one won't start the saw. We're going to find out if this one does. Wouldn't that be the pits if I bought another one that isn't worth a diddly squad? That might even make me cuss a little bit. Who am I kidding? That'll make me cuss a lot. I try to keep the channel somewhat clean, but I have my moments. Okay. That is my highly technical flywheel gapping tool known as a business card. It works great. Getting the kill switch wire hooked up is actually the biggest pain, changing one of these things out. It is buried back up in there. You can get it started reaching down in there with a little screwdriver to finish it off. There we go. It's best. Now make sure that switch tab doesn't bend so that it's touching a cylinder fin. That's no bueno. Perfect, right there. All right. Get the starter back on here, and we're going to give this a test run, I hope. Come on, baby. Get you started. I'm going to put back on the new transformer. You really don't want to over tighten those. Crack that plastic housing out and make one hell of a big mess. Okay. Cross your fingers. I would, but it's hard to start a saw that way. And she's flooded out again. I'm going to be really upset if I got another bum coil. I've always resisted building the extension leads here to test a spark plug outside of the cylinder on these. Might be time to do just that. Because I'm baffled at what's going on, folks. Spark plug is wet. Now, I tested that switch and it was operating properly. Let's try one of our other variety transformers here. Oh boy. Now that's irritating. About the only thing I can do to further test this and confirm my now raging suspicion is to go pull that coil off of my tester saw that I've got. There's no reason to waste video time on that. Alright, the exercise in futility continues. Again, I've had this saw, the coil that this saw is off of, I know is good. So let's go through our exercise again. Coil lamination to kill switch lead. We'll start with that. 55 ohms of resistance. 59 seems pretty reasonable. Coil lamination to transformer terminal. 222. 900. Now that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. If this coil's no good, and this one is, there's over 4 times as much resistance there. So let's try between the transformer tab, lead tab, and the kill switch wire. 278. Yeah, 960. Definitely different. Okay, folks, so you can disregard this. As the video goes on, it'll become obvious that the issue here was not coil, related. It wasn't. All 3 coils I end up working with here are good, but I don't know exactly why that one reading was so much higher. I have a suspicion that it's because it was installed on the saw, and I may have had the transformer lead either touching or plugged in there. I guess it wasn't plugged in, but it may have been touching, and that would have definitely altered that reading. But I'm kind of keeping this as a almost a live thing, just so you can see the progression of frustration that it took to get to the final solution. Alright, cross both fingers this time if you would. In case you're wondering if I'm getting pissed off, oh yeah. I sure am. Okay. You guys watch that run. How do we want to do this? we're going to test the transformer that Christopher bought from me. Because you guys saw this thing running. I don't know if I'm mixing up parts here, or if there's some phantom. I'm going to set that aside. Known good. Okay. All right. Known good. Not no good, known. Be very clear. So that is going back on Christopher's saw. I've got a brand new spark plug in there, a brand new Champion. Had a Denso. I don't think that was any problem. It's a brand new plug, but I'm eliminating variables here. So, side note, you guys might be wondering why the hell I keep this saw laying around. It's in pretty good shape. Well, it's one I repainted. I'd intended to sell. The gas tank seam developed a gas bubble under there and bubbled the paint and clear coat. You can guess how happy I wasn't about that. But what are you going to do? All right. This coil was just running my saw. So we know it's good. If this saw doesn't start and run with this combination, I'm going to turn off the camera, crack a cold beer, regain my temper, and then maybe figure out what the hell is going on. The transformer receptacle is new too. And yes, I've already tried disconnecting the kill switch, and that didn't make any difference. But for grins, that was questionable. With nothing there, we'll set up the old ohm meter. We'll just verify what I've already tested. But since things aren't going well, we'll verify it again. Ground to the cylinder. With the switch in the on position, there's infinite resistance. The off position, there's about 8 ohms of resistance. So nothing. It is working. The kill switch is working. It's not shorted out. So let's put this known good coil. I held my... Man, where's my high-tech coil gapper? I didn't put it away. Seriously. If I left it on the bench and then started a saw... Ah, here it is. Blow, exhaust it, blow it all over the place. Hey, no. Get out of there. Logic says that this thing ought to start right up. Kill switch lead. It's not easiest thing to get back on. Come on. What the hell happened to that? Seriously? There we go. There we don't go. Okay. Logic says this is going to start. If it doesn't, folks, like I said, that cold beer is calling my name. Because I try not to make a habit of throwing chainsaws. But this one has me tempted. So there we have it. A coil and transformer that ran on a different saw don't run on this saw. Beats me. Okay. This is ridiculous. I'm 99% certain I know exactly what's going on here. I'm going to try and get this transformer receptacle out of here. So I've got the spark plug out, and you just work it loose. Now I already see the problem. I'm certain that I do. I want to fish this out. To where we all can look at it. Just got to be careful. I don't want to break anything. There we go. Now, if you've worked with many of these, you can see the problem too. If you haven't, damn, I wish I had one. Maybe. I'm going to show you one that's a known good. I got parts everywhere, folks. It's ridiculous. Okay. So here's a known good one. Just one I keep laying around. That's the lead. I just keep this laying around in case I need it. So look at this. Do you see the difference? Big damn difference. Whoa. So, one side of the transformer needs to ground to the case. The appropriate side is this side right here. Okay. This side, you don't want it to ground. You want your lead attached to it. It's like positive, negative. If you got a negative ground system, you don't want your positive grounded out. So the way this is set up, this tab, this grounding tab doesn't belong on here. It's like having the kill switch on all times. So that's real interesting. I don't know how that necessarily occurred. if the part made it through my shop with that second tab on there, that means an old shop put it on there and slipped it back in the new part bag, which I'm amazed at some of the things that a few of the shops have done that I've found. Usually it's putting a new, an old part in a new bag or some dumb thing like that. But that little exercise in futility, we'll see how much I've got this edited. I'm kind of in my brain thinking about all the clips and all the things that I did here, and I'm trying to wrap my mind around how much of it gets put into a video, because I want it to be entertaining, I want it to be educational, and I want it to be ridiculous. So, when I sit down with another sud later tonight, I'll make some editing decisions. So let me fish this back into place. And then I'm going to quit the screwing around, and we're going to put the coil and transformer that Chris bought for me back in. We're going to see how they do. My personal guess is it's going to start and run. But I'm also guessing it's going to smoke like a banshee, cleaning fuel out of the crankcase here. Now I'm having some trouble getting this thing to seat, obviously. There it goes. I'm going to leave the Champion plug in there because, in my personal opinion, they're far superior to a Denso plug. So anybody who feels the need to go on here and flame me in the comments over that, have fun. I'll have fun muting you. As I said, it's a personal opinion. But a side note, it was also Homelite's opinion, because they spec Champion plugs. Okay. At this point, I am really confident that that's what the problem was. So we are going to just go ahead and put the coil that was purchased from me back on. And I'll reassemble my tester saw later off video. And my dumb optical sensor on my porch light's blowing up out there. I don't know if you guys can see that flashing or not. It's almost like a fog horn buoy light. Just boom, boom. Okay. If this works, like I think it's going to, this will be a good reminder that if too many things seem too incredible to be true, and in this case it would be, a coil and a transformer that are new and not functioning, or you buy a separate set and you put them on and they don't work either. That's when you got to start going, okay, what am I missing? Again, I'd love to get there and just start it, but this kill switch wire on these saws is such a pain in the neck. There's a mounting boss for the cylinder cover that's right here. It's right in the way of the needle nose pliers. There we go. If this works, I'm going to pull this back apart and I'll zip tie that down the way the factory intended, but I want to test it first. Anyway, like I was saying, if there's too many things that don't add up, and it's just like a complete mystery, it's very possible that there's something being missed. Cross your toes this time. Flooded much? That's a nice little batch of yuck. All right. There it is. So again, I'm going to be in contact with Chris and find out what the, if that part was sold to him that way, I owe him a big apology and a free repair bill. And that's how it works. But as I was saying, watch out for crazy stuff that doesn't make any sense. There's probably a simpler explanation, and in this case, the simpler explanation was one extra grounding tab on a ridiculous transformer mount. So all that was doing was acting as a kill switch all the time. So in a way, I'd rather it be that. I mean, right? You know, $100 transformer and close to $100 coil, you don't want those to fail out of the box 5 seconds in. You don't want them to be garbage out of the box. So, anyhow, I'll let this thing sit for a couple days and just make sure there's no more phantoms in it. But Chris, I think, finally, ready to send it back to you.